You're listening to the Blue Sky Radio. Blue Sky Radio.
Beautiful blue skies.
You, it's your boy Dr. Z ndani ya Bonga na Houston. Kwa sasa tuko na Miss Tanga at the Blue Sky Radio ndani ya Bonga na Houston. I'll talk to Houstonian. Tuko na mgeni mpya hapa anaitwa, your name, sir?
My name is Camille Khan.
Oh yeah, unasikia Camille.
Jambo.
Mambo vipi?
Mimi ni Camille kutoka Houston.
Wow,
Alright,
so you know Swahili a little bit.
Little.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
And Miss Tanga anaitwa Camille kwenye the Blue Sky Radio na leo ni Bonga na Houston. Camille atakwenda kutupatia mambo moto. Yeye anatetea haki za binadamu.
Wow.
Na pia tunafanya naye kazi. To all my listeners, this is Dr. Z and the Blue Sky Radio. I talk to Houstonia or Bonga na Houston in Swahili. And in our studio today we have our guest Camille.
Thank you so much for having me. Shout out to Blue Sky Radio and to our amazing host right here. I love the setup. Love what you got going on.
Thank
Oh
you
man,
very much.
I feel like you're the host. You hear the voice?
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Oh, the voice is so deep.
Yeah, it's
Like,
deep and then, you can hear very well.
I feel like I'm about to give you my seat.
No, I can't replace that, man. You guys do a great job. I'm just happy, blessed to be here. Just enjoying the ride.
Mr.
All right.
Camille, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing,
Yeah. Where do I start? So I work here with Interfaith Ministries. I work with refugees. I consider myself a humanitarian, but I'm also a spoken word artist. I make hip hop music on the side.
Oh, wow.
I'm part of some music endeavors, and just a person trying to figure out their role among billions of people. So I'm nobody and I'm everybody.
Oh, so you are very busy.
I try to keep myself busy, yeah.
All right, Mr. Camille, can you tell us a little bit about your background, education, who you were? Did you born here in America, or,
Yeah. So I wasn't born in America. I was born in Pakistan, in
okay.
Islamabad, which is the capital. And then it's a city surrounded by beautiful mountains. And I don't get to see that a lot in Houston, so I do miss out on that. But I came to the States. I came to Houston when I was 8 years old and went to school in the Third Ward. Shout out to the Trey. I love H-Town. Proud to be here. Proud to be an immigrant as well. As for my education, I have my bachelor's degrees in business from University of Houston.
Okay.
I have my master's in public administration from Indiana University, Hoosiers. So I was blessed to be able to pursue education because it was something that my parents were like, you got to do it, and it's just a blessing, honestly.
I know, education is the key.
Yeah.
And Mr.
absolutely.
Camille, when you came here as 8 years old, were you resettled to Houston or you were in another state?
Yeah, so I came as an immigrant. My parents didn't have to leave their home out of fear, but we did come to Houston. In fact, my dad, when he first came, he came before us. He went to Chicago,
Okay.
and that moment he felt that Chicago winter, he was like, I'm done. I want to go somewhere warm, and so he came down to Houston. We came straight to Houston, and I spent most of my life here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same thing for me too, because when I came from Tanzania, I live in Indiana. It was very cold, and then I was like, let me just move to somewhere else. Then when I came over here to visit my cousin, I was like, oh, so there's another place that they don't have snow. Then I was like, okay, let me move to Houston.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know how the Somalians do it in Minneapolis. You take them all there, going from Mogadishu to St. Paul. So it's temperature is a big thing. Weather's a big thing, but it's been a little hot this summer. I'll tell you this much. I wish it was a little cooler.
I always ask myself that question, with the Somalis that actually, because, they just come from Somalia and then they go to St. Paul and they're good with that. Every single one who come to Houston, they just migrated. And I always ask this question in my head, how do they manage to do that when they come from a place that is not that cold? And for me, I feel comfortable here.
But I think
Okay.
at the beginning, it's very excited. It was my first time to see snow. So
Wow.
when I saw the snow, I was like, I was excited. But after 2 years, I was like, no.
done.
I never
This is
wish
not for
that.
me.
Okay, I know apart from the mountain and that you said the beautiful mountain of Islamabad,
Yeah.
what else do you miss about home?
The food, man. I'm a big guy. I love food. I think food is such a big part of our stories as immigrants, as refugees.
Yes.
It's a big part that brings people together, families, friends, even enemies. You know, sometimes when they're making truce, they sit down and they have to have a cup of tea and have food to make peace. So
Yeah.
I miss the food. I miss the air, the weather. I miss the people. And there's just something so beautiful about Eastern culture, you know, that we don't often see here, that it's a community culture where it doesn't matter if I know this person, I'm related to that person, but that person's my uncle or my auntie.
Oh yeah, I struggle a lot with this here. When you try to explain people how you related to someone, you know,
Yeah.
say this is my auntie or
Yes.
my uncle, and they're like, from how? And then they start explaining, you know, he knows my uncle, and then when he goes, oh my god,
Yeah, the culture
you
is
don't
different.
know this guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
Mr.
culture is different, but what I'm telling you, there's a lot of food in here. You know, Houston is like international.
Yeah,
You
that's
can get
true.
all kind of food, so maybe you need to visit to those places.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely go to those places, and I'm definitely there. I'm eating the Mexican, the Indian food,
Yes.
Ethiopian food. Man, I love Ethiopian
international.
food. Yes, it's international.
Have you
for sure.
tasted Tanzanian food before?
I have not. I have not. It's fufu.
No.
No, yeah, fufu, yes. I don't know if they eat that.
No,
Ugali.
it's
They
some-
call it ugali.
Ugali. Okay.
I don't
so
know.
heavy.
There's other samosa. I know you know samosa.
Yeah, I know
samosa,
samosa.
actually.
Oh yeah.
Did they brought some sambusa at the office while we were working together?
Yeah, I think there were some samosas
Yeah,
that were
yeah.
brought for sure. You
I
know?
wish I knew you were coming because you know I know how to fix samosa. Maybe next time.
Oh, next time I'll come to your home and try them out.
Mr. Camille, now, can you take us into that process of immigration? That when you come here, how were you welcome? Did you feel like at home? How did the people welcome you guys here? Since you come when you was 8 years old,
Yeah.
do you now have like those childhood friends from here and back then?
Yeah, you know, it was such a transition because I grew up in a pretty posh setting in Islamabad where we had economic resources, and then I came to America, went to the third ward, and I was like, well, "This is America."
Or somewhere else.
Yeah, it was somewhere else, and I had never thought about poverty in America because
know.
what I thought about America was Hollywood, Beverly Hills,
The
you
same
know.
thing to me too.
Right.
I thought every place is just a big buildings.
Yeah, you're just surrounded by that. So when you come there, but I was accepted because I went to a predominantly African American school, and so I think we had 2 white kids in the whole school, and then the rest were African American or Latino. And I remember just thinking like I didn't feel like I didn't belong. You know, they were curious about where I came from, but there was so much pride with ethnicity and with race. You know, I grew up in elementary school because that's where I was at that time, learning about Dr. King and Malcolm X and all these heroes that had so much black pride and brown pride.
Yes.
And it wasn't until my family moved to the suburbs that I was able to see that no, there is a difference and disparity amongst races, and that America has such a troubled past
Yes.
of its own conflicts, of its own violence.
All right. So, what did you learn from that?
I just learned that it starts with humanity first, right? Like you
Yes.
have to be able to sit across someone and see the person. And then when you add different things to them, that's their story. You know, we don't get to pick how we look or where we're born.
Yes.
Geography is destiny, you know?
Yes.
So I just learned that you got to be chill, you got to be cool, you got to be welcoming with everyone. And if you give good vibes off, it's going to be really hard for someone not to be kind to you.
I know.
Okay, I heard from your own word you say that you are spoken word artist, and then also you kind of write hip hop songs on side. Let's just focus on that at this time. Okay, how did you get into this artist?
Man, I started writing poetry when I was 12 years old, but at that time it wasn't cool for a guy to be writing poetry at that time.
Oh,
So, but yeah, I started writing poems because I was looking around the world and I saw so much, and I just thought that poetry was kind of this constructive art form where you have parameters like rhyme schemes, and then you have the rules, but then within those rules there's so much creativity. So I started writing then, and was part of a high school band called the Collaboration, and that's when I started rapping a little bit more. So I was able to use the poetry into more of an artistic form in high school. I was in the band, and then when I went to college, I released my own mixtape called The Revolution's Returned, and so I was someone that was young. I was feeling myself, but I was also understanding the oppression and that this community and that this country has so many nuances that people don't see every day, you know? We know the people who are in front of us that don't want us to come together, but it's really the people behind those big buildings that are running the show. So I wanted to express that young activist anger, and I put it in my music.
Okay, and you talk about mixtape? Before we continue with the question, let's have a small break, and then when we come back, we're going to have to talk about your mixtape. But I want to know more about poetry because I'm very interested in poetry. And I never know that you guys, you write poems. Okay? Guys, tuko na Camille, bado tunaendelea na tunakwenda kwanza kwenye short break. Tukirudi, tunaenda tena kusikiliza mengi zaidi kutoka kwake, kuandika poem, na pia amesema kama ameshagawahi release mixtape. Basi tuko pamoja. Au ni Dr. Z.
Where's my stanga?
All right.
You're listening to the Blue Sky Radio. Blue Sky Radio.
Beautiful blue skies.
Automobile, Chris Brown and Pills. We're back again with Mr. Camille and Miss Tanga. Taxi Estonian. This is Dr. Z at the Blue Sky Radio. Okay, Mr. Camille, before the break, we were talking about your poetry skills, and then we say that we're going to hear something about the mixtape. But before we go there, let's just come back on poetry. Did I throw
I
my
love
glasses
poetry
somewhere?
too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
I love poetry,
expression.
movies, and all that. So maybe you're gonna get something from you.
Okay, maybe we'll get something from you. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Camille, can you tell us about poetry? Can you read some of your work?
Yeah, absolutely. I would be honored to. Poetry is just something that I've done for a while, and before I talk about when I wrote this poem, and it has a little bit of a rap twang to it. It was during the crisis at Christ Mosque. So there was a white nationalist shooter that went in and started just shooting people while they were praying, and
In
New Zealand, I think.
yes, New Zealand.
Yeah, and then right after
The one that just happened recently.
Yes.
Recently, yes.
Last year or this year? It was last year.
I believe it was actually this year.
This year,
this
yeah.
year.
Yeah, and he recorded a video which was insane. It looked
Yeah,
like
I
a
saw the
video
video.
game, you know? Yeah, it was rough. And then right after that, there was the churches that were bombed in Sri Lanka. So
Yes.
I was just in a lot of pain because I was reading about this and I heard prayers up, but I wanted to write that pain. So I wrote this little poem, and I'll share that with you guys.
Okay.
So here it goes. Internalized backlash. From New Zealand to Baghdad. I'm tired of using hashtags. We're getting traumatized flashbacks. Man of gun. Beat the dead conundrum. Death coming to us in lump sum. I'm watching kids skip youth and then some. In the world of nationalists and capitalists, these people, they're not really mavericks. Ideologues with blogs. Ensuring our history isn't chalked, the expunged. I